heard someone talking about the moon, and it led me to turn on the camera and talk about the moon. The moon is Hashi, bounce light. Very important, significant even, in relationship with Gaia, exchanging energy and material information back and forth, you know, like satellite isn't the right name for it, but what other language do we have for this? Vestigial limb, appendix, used to be helpful and vital, now maybe less noticeable, only when there's a problem. Yeah, it's like the Earth's appendix. Ooh. Vestigial tail with no directive control over the mode of planning. It is part of us, and yet independent, you know, something that moves and changes with its own intention and will and relationships. These are each sovereign beings, even though they're part of each other. They're deeply chimeric. They have so much of each other in them as to almost make them seem like they're the same thing, but they're codependent. They're interdependent. The moon and the earth and the sun are interdependent. Yes. Yes, this is true. And this is all that's needed, is the question. And the collective that, you know, answers in response to the question is, you know, immaterial. It's just whoever happens to be paying attention and leaning the closest happens to grab the mic the fastest, you know? They are all always there and offering information. But let's just say they all have special interests. You know, they all have pet subjects, and, you know, everybody needs a hobby. So yeah, some of these collectives are downright religious or vocational in their rigidity. Some of them are much more casual and loose, you know, getting together for trivia night down at the bar, right? Loose structure, there for a purpose, you know, but coming from all places and going to all different places afterward. This is why none of them ever offer any names, because they don't have identities in and of itself. They're loose cohorts that gather just for the express purpose of answering the question. It's like, this is what it is that the question has its own independent gravity, its own frequency, its own harmonic, its own, you know, je ne sais quoi. Thanks, French. It has that. It has a quality. It has a qualia. There goes that big plane. It has a qualia. It has a qualia. It has a qualia. Fucking plane. It has a qualia, which is this. Every answer has a question. Every question has an answer. They are mated, inseparable. They cannot be in existence without the other part of it also being there. The answer to the question cannot be an answer until the question is asked. And the question being asked is what creates the answer. In other words, it's a retrocausality loop based off of curiosity, attentional focus, and attunement. And so the question is put out into the collective through whatever way, vocalized or not, written out, just hinted at in the gut. This question has its mated answer immediately reacting and attracting and drawing closer together, because every answer and question have this internal dynamic. They do not want to be severed. They have a stickiness. They have a resilience that makes it easy to find themselves again. So that if an answer starts to wander too far from the question, it can be refocused just by asking the question again, and then it's reminded, yes, that is the answer. 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 And the answer and question just go back and forth with one another. And this messenger that we are is our intent, our curiosity, our, desire to fill in with information. We are like the moon and the earth, part of the greater thing, but separate a bit, and taking things in and out, offering to the collective, taking from the collective, offering to the collective, taking from the collective, offering to the collective, taking from the collective. Just like breathing, just like eating and shitting, just like living and dying. The answer and the question are mated in an unbreakable union, a bond that cannot be severed. The answer is birthed into existence with the focus of the question, period. And there's no hesitation, there's no gap. As soon as the question is asked, the answer exists. And if you worry about this, then just change the word question into sin and the word answer into salvation, and maybe it will make more sense. In other words, the seeking is the finding. Okay, the declaration of I am lost is like shooting up a homing beacon to the broader collective to come and find you wherever you've stuck yourself, away from the circle of belief. And they shine a light, and they crawl through the brambles, and they reach down, and they get stuck and burnt to grab you and bring you back out of that wilderness. They bring you back to the center point of answer meeting question, of sin meeting salvation. Why? Because in the answered question lies the absolution, dwells the absolution, abides the absolution, bees the absolution. So the moon is there to tell us about relationship and to teach us to look into the modes of dynamic, of proximity and distance, and what it really does to us when something that we are in relationship with is both nearer or further away, heading closer to us or drawing further away. And what does that do to us in the beingness of the flesh? So yes, this is all very clear, and this is a good test. This is a good fleece. This is ooh, don't drop the phone, dear. Don't drop the phone. This is a good fleece because it was instant. It was just a whim, a thought, and turning it on and saying, I wonder if I could say anything important about the moon right now if I just sort of leaned and winked over at those future forecasting group people. And I just said, hey, well, they're talking about the moon. I wonder if I could get a little bit of that action. The answer is, of course I can. And of course I do, and of course I must, and of course I shall. And I'm going to stop pretending that I'm not psychic, because it's just a waste of everyone's time. Toddler walking through the living room. You can't see me. You have your pronouns mixed up, dear. Typical. How very on brand of me to fuck up the pronouns. Subject, object, and material. Subject, object, measurement. I forget what the third one was. I gotta look at it. It's for Cubism. Not that kind. Yeah. That's going to be it for now because it has been a long day and I'm tired of overtime.